men's title.
Sure.
You were out here for a dual meet. How glad are you that you made that effort to come and get acquainted with Hayward Field, and just people aren't going to be surprised by anything here this time?
Well, you're right. We came out here for two reasons. Number one, well, actually three. Number one, an invite from Vin and Robert. Number two was the fact that not all of our guys made the meet. This weekend. So I thought it was important to bring our developmental guys, or guys that maybe just missed making this championship, to experience Hayward Field.
Because it's here next year too, right?
It's here next year too, and experience Hayward Field, and it's just it's just a great place to compete. And so I wanted to make sure that we had a whole team here, because that's kind of how we do things. And then third of all, obviously, to get our athletes a taste of this a month before the championships. We get a lot of horizontal jumpers, and it's just important to know how the winds work and what to expect, so there's no surprises when we get here.
And everyone went back to Arkansas with a good feeling after that weekend too, right? So.
It was a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah.
We had a tough time getting here. We had a flight delay, and we had to fly out the next day. Poles didn't arrive, and so we struggled on that a little bit. But that was the beauty of the meet. The meet goes on, and we had to perform and do what we had to do. So it was all around. It was a great trip. And
are you guys thinking about that weekend or talking about that weekend on the way out here this time? Just hey, we're going back to a place where we had some success in April.
A little bit. We kind of like move on.
Sure.
But in talking with our athletes, the jumpers, again, we're saying, hey, Coach, glad we came out here and tasted the runways a little bit, knew the nuances of the stadium, and so we talked about that a little bit, but we kind of put it on the shelf. Well, we do a lot more reflecting, I guess, after the season's over, but body language has been good, and we feel like it was a worthwhile trip for us to do and all that.
So the day before this starts, a lot of things can go right, a lot of things could fall apart.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Like I said, I feel we're in a good spot. As good a spot as we've been in all year. We took a little bit easy with our schedule outdoors. Stayed away from some of the longer, bigger meets, Penn and Drake and all that, and so I think that's you can only go to the well so many times, and we felt like we had a really good West preliminary meet out at Austin, and we felt like that was one of the reasons that we were pretty well rested, and came off a really kind of rough and tumble SEC meet, and really ran better at the regional meet, at the West preliminaries, and so just feel like we're in a pretty good, as good a spot as we can be in. It's a long season, we've got our aches and pains, and like everybody else, but we're in as good a spot as we can be in, and now we just have to go out and dig deep and have some fun and try to enjoy the experience.
Right.
Team feel competition ready after winning NCAA indoors, the rough and tumble SEC meet?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're ready for the challenges ahead?
I hope so. I mean, you never know until you get out there. But like I said, with just the general attitude of our team and their body language that we had flying out here yesterday, and how they were at breakfast. Just the general feeling is good. I mean, they look good. They're excited to be here, and they have a bounce in their step. And that can all change maybe in a day. You never know. But right now, I think everybody's in a good spot, and feel like we're ready to go. So see what happens.
In plotting your season, NCAA indoors is obviously, that was probably big because it was at home.
Right.
Do you feel like you're where you wanted to be right now to win this?
Again, we were a little nervous, going into the SEC meet, from a physical standpoint. Just because we had really eased into the outdoor season after the indoor meet and tried to reboot in a slow and kind of steady progression and not jump right into the outdoor season after that emotional indoor season. So I think we've done a pretty good job of bringing them to this point. And like I said, our schedule wasn't real sexy outside except for the Oregon meet. That was a priority on our schedule, and we kind of built everything around that meet because let's face it, it's not easy to get here.
Right.
And so that was a big priority for us, and we were glad we did it. And we got back to the SEC meet, got things accomplished there because that's always our first line of defense. And then went into the West preliminaries, and really I felt we pretty much nailed it. So now it's just a question of, like where we're at now, a week and a half later, and we'll just kind of see how it all pans out.
Can you speak to some of the challenges and battles coming up? You got a couple of them. Obviously, the decathlon is an amazing competition.
Yeah.
And the pole vault, too. And Andrew getting some time out here when he didn't make it last year at NCAAs. Can you talk about those two events particularly?
Well, in Andrew's situation, he's a young vaulter, and last year was a new experience for him. He wasn't on any kind of a track team in high school, and so he adjusted really well and got into the team thing. And again, that's how we operate. And I know he was disappointed we didn't make the national meet outdoors, but he doesn't usually make the same mistake twice, and was able to come back. That's how I feel for Dendy in the long jump, and Texas's their A&M's 4x1. I don't wish that on my own worst enemy. I wish they were here and competing. So those things happen, and so we're just glad that Andrew made it to the meet, and had to go back to Texas again, where he failed, and he got it done. So we're really proud of him for that. And I apologize, the other part of the question.
Decathlon.
And the decathlon, well, yeah. I mean, we got two decathletes in there, and obviously Kevin is the indoor heptathlon champion, and we're excited to get him out there and see what he can do. It's going to be a great competition, no question. We got Nathaniel Franks, a homegrown Oregonian, and is that how you say it, Oregonian?
Yeah,
and he's happy to be here. He did a great job for us at the conference meet, made all SEC, and got into the meet. And he's only a sophomore, so we're excited about Nathaniel being here. So it should be interesting.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my
Thanks.
pleasure.